Yo, we are back. This is the NuStyle, and I am Nuface. Now, one of my favorite artists, man. I know Jeezy said it, man, but you cannot mention Atlanta and you haven't seen this brother's promotional, his stickers. You can't go on Instagram without seeing him rapping every day for a year, spitting bars, man. I'm talking about none other than a gentleman with four eyes. We got four eyes in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Let's learn about what he got going on in his shows coming up next. Let's go. Yo, we are back, and I told you I had a very special guest. I got Chicago's own. But if you've been in Atlanta for a while, man, you know this brother. And if you've been on social media and you went on Instagram, you know this brother, man. I have none other than not two eyes, but we got four eyes in the building, man.
Wagwan.
Thank you for coming, my brother. Welcome to Georgio's.
Oh, no, the pleasure is all mine, my good sir.
Welcome to Georgio's. Now, have you ever heard of Georgio's?
I am very happy to be here. Is this similar to the one that is in Greenbrier?
Oh, yes, indeed.
See, I was going to go to that one.
Hey, he was almost about to go to another location. That's a true story.
I appreciate you for notifying me in time, so I did not add gas mileage into my car.
Because we would have been doing this interview via FaceTime, huh?
No, I would still just turn around and came back. Okay. For you, I would have did that.
Man, so I just wanted to bring the people back, man. What brings a brother that's so talented from Chicago? What brought you to Atlanta?
Ooh, the music scene in general. I mean, I came in '99. Chicago was kind of fractured at the time. We had lost our major hip hop radio station. Okay. And then, hip hop was, underground AM stations, or, like maybe at 12 o'clock for an hour or two, something like that. But when I came to Atlanta, they had 97.5 at the time, before they turned to 107.9. Yeah. I mean, it was just like really dope. And even V103, the big station, it was just their hip hop presence and really just black people in general. Like the bad neighborhood here looked like the neighborhood I grew up in.
Gotcha.
But the west side of Chicago looked like a third world country. So when I came down here and saw
it was heaven.
Man, very much so heaven. Very much so heaven. And then, just Jack the Rapper folks had always been trying to get down here on some MC stuff. Freaknik on some just party kicker stuff. So, Atlanta always had its draw to a player like myself for a long time.
Do you remember your first day in Atlanta?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, it's no real secret. I grew up with Luda in Oak Park on the west side of Chicago before he came down here. And
Come on, this?
Yeah, that Luda. Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh, we started rapping together in Oak Park.
Wait, so if you look, dang, that's. Oh, that was
Four eyes, absolutely, yeah.
Oh, if you look at the. Okay.
Oh, you finna do Nuface stuff now. Okay.
I got it. Okay. So
I haven't had one of these. I've heard about them and I've seen them. I've never had my.
So if you look, that's a great starting point. So if you look at this album, you see track number 8. Mm-hmm. It says "Mouthing Off" featuring Four Eyes.
Absolutely.
And Four Eyes is here.
I appreciate you for having me. Yeah.
Wow. Man. Okay. So that's a transition, and so that was part of your transition coming to Atlanta.
Well, I mean, that was the secondary transition. Uh-huh. Chris super snapped and put out his album independently using his own budget, money out his own pocket from working at the radio station.
Gotcha.
But I came down here because he was working at the radio station. I'm like, man, if I got an opportunity to get a song played on the radio, of course, my guy more than likely would pay it. If it's good enough, not just showing me favoritism, it got to be good enough. But he ended up getting signed to Def Jam and releasing his independent album, selling 30,000 independent units, having a bidding war, going to Def Jam, and the song that we did on his independent album didn't get cut and ended up making it to, the final beefed up major label album. And that was really a great blessing and the introduction.
You and motivate you.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, my friend got a record label when he, was doing 1 million, 2 million, 3 million records sold, so it's like, man, sky was the limit.
So I mean, I know Nuface was there as the thing, but to just be a part, Four Eyes was there, and that's like, during a time when like your name was on credits, man. So congratulations for that.
Gracias,
so from that, so for first day to Atlanta, festivals and rap. So what was that experience, or what was the game plan when you got here? Was it to be signed to a major label like Chris, or was it just to be rapping everywhere? What was the goal? Did you have a blueprint in mind when you got here?
Ooh, man, I had like a rough idea. I knew the direction I was going, but I ain't know what house I was looking for. I didn't know what block I was supposed to stop on. Like,
you came by yourself? Like
yeah. Moved down here, but I mean, the whole concept was I
link up.
Yeah, had friends, and so when I visited here, I met Lala because she was working at the radio station with Chris and Poon, and she was moving out of her mama's crib looking for some place to go, and I was looking for an apartment. So we ended up being roommates once I did move to Atlanta in '99. But then she got the LA job at the radio station, so that was only for like a couple months, and then she dipped out and went to the West Coast.
Evolution.
But man, it's the plan was always to. Well, see, this is the best part about today and technology, and everybody could be an entrepreneur and a boss and an owner. And coming up in our time, that knowledge wasn't privy knowledge. Everybody wasn't working on being an owner. Everybody wanted to just be a worker or was looking to be discovered. We didn't know how to discover ourselves. We was looking to be discovered. So at that time, it was like, all right, just go really be the best version of yourself and, hopefully garnish the attention of whoever. But, at the same time, there was a certain comfort in knowing like, oh man, my guy got a record label with a major label. So worst case scenario, same thing with the radio station. If I make a song or album that's hot enough,
you win by association.
Yeah, and I got the proper channels to move forward if I have my plan together.
Yes.
But man, hindsight being 2020. What up, Shaka?
Yes, indeed, man. Shout out to Poon Daddy.
Yeah, man. But Shaka would always say hindsight is 2020. And looking back, I didn't know a lot of shit. Yeah. I did not know a lot.
Well, I know one thing I do know for sure. When I first got here, when I first got to Atlanta, man, I came in every exit in Atlanta. I would see stickers, and it just said 4 Eyes. And the logo, I recognized it. Everything was familiar. And I'm talking about and to this day, there are still street signs in Atlanta. You go to Old National, if you go in Marietta, I still see these stickers.
They holding on
everywhere. And they were promoting, if I believe, this project right here.
Am
I correct?
That is absolutely correct.
So that was the marketing. And just to be transparent, I know NuFace was there as a hashtag and everything, but I modeled it after that type of thing.
Oh, wow.
I wanted to be the sticker. So you look at me as the sticker. This gentleman right here created the blueprint for what I am today, and it led to this project right here. So talk about the game plan, putting this project together. I'm looking at the names on here. I'm looking at the years. I'm looking at you on here, man. Big Rube, like to see that this gentleman from Chicago came here and had an intro by Big Rube that lets you know how tapped in he is with the culture.
Oh, I'm not crazy.
And this gentleman put this together beautifully. So talk about the stickers. How did that come about? And the project. What came first, the stickers or the project?
The project came first, but shout out to Sebastian Jackson, known as DJ Scorpio, Mr. Crunk Energy Drink himself. If it was not for him and his promotional predatorial skills, we wouldn't even be talking about the stickers. And he really laid the foundation for me to have the branding that I have associated with my name a decade later, over a decade later. So shout out Scorpio. But I was working on that album. Killer Mike just say his album took 2.5 years to do. That album might have took 4 or 5.
Gotcha. Wow.
Like I kept revamping it, revising it, getting more contacts. I might meet a better producer, or, just constantly learning and growing and realizing that the music or the sound or the look always needed to evolve. And then once I got with Scorpio, he told me a new asshole. He pretty much, hey, man, you want to put this out? All right, just let me know how that works for you. And then he really broke it down and started plugging me. And that's when I got, TJ's DJs, SEA Awards, Ozone Magazine.
Shout out to Juliet Beverly.
Man, just pretty much, exactly. He ran me pretty much through everything that I needed to propel myself independently and brand myself outside of a ludicrous, brand. And that was important to not have to rely on, whatever it is, whoever, if you with this organization, if you with this, that's beneficial until you get to the point where nothing is moving or propelling your agenda or your plan forward. So you have to. So Scorpio really helped me get behind myself and really push me forward. And if it wasn't for him and his mastermind, just professional expertise and tutelage,
Yes.
I promise you, I wouldn't be the 4 hours that I am today. So I
Wow.
really thank Scorpio for everything he did.
Definitely. And we talk about hindsight, and so I want to take it back a little bit further. So a young Four Eyes and hip hop is celebrating 50 years. What were the artists that you seen that maybe possibly inspired you, or that you looked at that, besides, personal partners? I mean, friends with Ludacris, that's one thing, but I'm like, who are we seeing maybe on your MTV Raps, or, Rap City in the Basement, that you look to and say, I don't want to be that, but that's what I want to do?
The RZA. I was in a club in LA with Chris, and I seen the RZA, and I got giddy, like oh my God, is that the Resurrector? Like, man,
Bobby
like,
Digital.
man. So I sent Big Al and sent Willie. They double teamed him. Like, yeah, man, artist 4 hours walked the bam. RZA came over, met me. I'm in good company, so that always helps move something forward. And then we started to develop a relationship. Went to New York. Went to 36 Chambers, heard some beats. First, we was in a good studio. And then he was like, oh, yeah, we was playing beats. He's like, all right, you ready? You going to record over there. It was like he sent me to the, on some real Shaolin Chamber stuff. Yeah. Like, I met him at the 36 top level, but he said, yeah, go back to 1. You finna go record down there. So I went to the grimy, original 36 Chambers. Wow. I'm talking about, and just, it was not renovated to the best of its capabilities, but that's what made it so pure and historic, and is what made it a lasting memory, because I knew, like, man, Old Dirty fell asleep right there probably. You understand what I'm saying?
Definitely. So
and
seeing that.
So that's just one example. But I mean, I've been a lot of places. Method Man, like off the strength of him hearing me on Luda's album. Yeah. He told Chris I was that nigga. And then I didn't see him for like a decade. When I finally see him, he's like, "Oh, nigga, where you been?" I was like, "Right here."
And then I'll go to this gentleman's page, man, Snoop Dogg, and I'm scrolling on his stories, and I see you.
Well,
and then I'm at Bonfire, and I see you.
Well,
and you're showing love to this gentleman right here. So let's talk about, first of all, do you know who this is?
This is an extremely long story. I can sum up real fast. So folks been telling me that I look like Snoop Dogg ever since the Chronic album came out and Nothing But a G Thing and the Chronic hat. So I've been dealing with this since 1992. And with hip hop, being at its 50-year tribute stage, but then Snoop being the most recognizable figure and face in hip hop, pretty much.
That's a fact.
For me to look like or resemble dude is just like, I get hounded pretty much. Like, I get catcalled for being Snoop at least 10 times a day.
I've been here on multiple days, and we hear it, and he's like, watch what, I already know what you're going to say. And I tested it, and then they do it.
So then shout out to my guy, Global Flow. He plugged me with a brother named Credo. Credo was working with Ed. Ed was plugged with Kenya. Kenya was working with this agency that does hip hop, tribute artist stuff. So they got like a Prince, they got a Beyonce, they got like a Tina Turner, and they was looking to do hip hop. And then they was looking for like, an Outkast, a TLC, Run DMC, LL Cool J, and Snoop Dogg was on the list. So he's like, hey man, you be good for the Snoop Dogg. I said, I've been thinking about doing cover stuff, but if I get to be Snoop, that's just like a double win in the bucket for me, because I don't even got to dress up. I just, I woke up like this, like literally.
I woke up like this.
So long story short, I started to see and understand how I could. So my mama said forever, hey man, you need to find a way to be his stunt double or follow him around or do something. And long story short, I finally just made a hip hop tribute band that pretty much celebrates or is glorified by Snoop. I'm cousin Snoop, and we got the Doggy Dog Experience, and we just celebrate 50 years of hip hop, traditional great music. And
that's great.
So the second show, I performed at Riverdale on Saturday for Juneteenth, and the Bonfire was the Sunday show. So that was just my second appearance that's fresh out the gate with this. I got a whole band and everything. First time really working with a band, and man, the shit is super dope. Man. But that ain't how Snoop got on the player. What happened was I was doing these Versa days on Instagram for like past 4 years, and they was just getting constantly reposted and retweeted. Shout out to Jack Thriller. Shout out to Carlos Miller. and somehow Snoop ended up reposting one of my verses. And then that got me a whole bunch of followers. Then my page got hacked. Then I had to start all over and build it back up. But then Snoop started, he reposted one of my new ones again.
Okay.
So then from there, he just reached out and told me how fond he was of a player's lyricism. And I just been cultivating a relationship just as me, not as me looking like him, but just as being a dope MC. So that's really the biggest and best blessing that the Lord has bestowed upon a player.
Well deserved to be recognized by the most recognizable artist.
Why, thank you, sir.
And I want to bring the people, man, you know, you got this weekly event and I'm going in there to see you. And then I go at the DJ table and we have none other than the legendary DJ Toomp.
DJ Toomp, absolutely.
So let the people know before we get out of here, like what this is about. We're at Handlebars, you know, shout out to that crew over there, the family on Edgewood, man. Talk about how that event came about and what's the idea and concept behind it.
First of all, I'd like to shout out Christopher Brian Bridges, Ludacris. I would not be half the person I am. Well, as much as I said about Scorpio, Luda's done all that and then some for a long time. I met Toomp at the Red Light District listening party because Toomp did a beat for Chris's album. And then from there, I just been cultivating a relationship with Toomp. He's one of the coolest, most down to earth, humble, and the confidently strong.
Toomp like, actually humble. Worked on both of these projects when you think about it. I just want to shout that out and make a note. Toomp were part of
well, now I'm finna fuck you up now. I don't know. I mean, I know you historian, but I historian too. What do you do on this first one?
Oh no, I mean artist.
Okay,
artist. Period. He did production for both the artists.
Oh yeah, very true. Yeah. And once he did Red Light District, I know he did something on the album that Chris won a Grammy for, Release Therapy. He did a song on there. So then, like over the years, I kept seeing Toomp, and we just kept vibing and building. And then ultimately, I was like, Toomp, man, you an icon, you a legend in the community, and I'm doing this event. I would love if you could be the DJ and attach your brand to this brand that represents the Atlanta hip hop culture. And he was like, fuck yeah. So it's called Atlanta Beat Street.
You got a flyer, I think, right there, right?
I sure does.
Let's show the people a flyer, you know.
It's called Atlanta Beat Street. And we do an open mic cypher over original beats. Toomp will play beats that he produced, like instrumentals, like stuff that ain't released. And then we bring in a guest producer every week, and they play instrumentals that they made, unreleased stuff, or stuff that's been released. But the point is to create a platform that's kind of new that allows MCs and producers to bond, lets folks, you know, sharpen their teeth, steel sharpen steel. And, you know, it's how I came up in the game when I first got here.
Something like this was around during your time.
Oh, yeah, it was. Studio Central had MC battle, like 4-bar back and forth in this ring. And then shout out to Troy with the committee. He used to do the resurrection battles. Gotcha. But this ain't so much competition. This is just like straight up just coming, just spit, just vibe. No animosity, no anger. It's all built, just literally skill sharpen skills, man. It's all we all just sparring, and it's a good place to network. It's industry networking mixers is always a good part of Mondays in Atlanta. So I just wanted to make sure that the hip hop community here, because there's plenty of booty shaking trap, but we got a hip hop community here that is beautiful and needs to be put on the pedestal and glorified because, like, it's so many folks that really represent good lyricism, good substance, not just party club, but like really good storytelling. The storytelling is what's lost from the music today, which is why folks be like, on some, we don't like rap or hip hop and this, that, and the third, or it's getting us a bad rap, is because folks ain't taking the time to put the foreplay in. They just fucking. We need the foreplay to, bring out, like, she gets stimulated more with the foreplay. I get stimulated more with the foreplay. So that's what we need, is the foreplay before we go into the fucking. Can't just be straight fucking.
Well, you heard it here from my guy, man. Let the people know where they can find you and what you got next coming up, my brother.
You can catch me, I don't know when it's coming out, but Thursday, we're going to be at 529 with a Big Gift from the Goody Mob doing the Atlanta Beat Street concert series. That's right. Big Gift from the Goody Mob going to come down and bless us with his appearance and get up on the stage and do his thing. We got legendary Baller, the viral sensation, going to get up there and snap. Mickey Fax, CEO, founder of Pendulum Inc. gonna get up there and do his
Wow.
thing. You know, I got Toomp, he gonna be there. DJ Shakim.
Shakim.
Yeah, new additions to a DJ. He gonna be there doing his thing. Shout out to Pepper McGaddy. Fort Knox gonna be hosting it. Six Figure Digger. He produced Many Men for 50 Cent. Get Rich or Die Trying album. He gonna be there doing a beat producer set so we can demonstrate and display what we do every Monday at the Atlanta Beat Street Concert Series. So if you wanted a demonstration, ain't no better one than the one that's about to take place right here, Shawty.
Man, you heard it here first, man. We got 4 eyes in the building, live at Georgio's. This is the NuStyle. Let's go.
I keep it realer than alien autopsy photo. Use similar